Greetings, YouTube! The Doctor is in. Dr. Urias Papers here, coming at you with another commentary on Dungeons and Dragons. And we got a new drop today, the Unearthed Arcana 2026 Villainous Options. And this is going to have a number of subclasses in it. In addition, it is also going to have a couple of paths for characters. These come as feats, kind of like archetypes in Pathfinder or some of the old prestige classes in 3rd edition. So we're going to quickly go over this. We're going to take about maybe 10 minutes, less than that, to go over all this. I am going to do individual videos about each subclass because I think they do deserve kind of their own focus for each one of those. But very quickly, we're going to talk about all of this. So, lots to talk about, lots to go over. Stay tuned and don't go anywhere.
Nice. Why can't we have some meat? What about them? They're fresh.
All right, before we begin, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you have any questions or comments, please leave a question or comment. Don't forget to hit that notification bell, and don't forget to share this video. All right, so we've got the Villainous Options here, and I am going to hone in on this so we can see this a little bit better, and we can read it together. So what is inside this? Obviously, it's villains. Personally, I don't know what book this is going to come out in. That's my first question. First question is, what book is this going to come out in? We've seen a couple of books. Not sure if this is going to come out in the Strahd book that is going to be coming out later this year, because they did announce like 3 seasons or 3 books this year. And it's in these seasons, kind of like a video game. So I don't know when this is coming out. So that's my first question. Secondly, I've read through this. Most of these seem very evil. I would not let players play these. These would be options for the Dungeon Master, for NPCs and antagonists, not necessarily for player use at all. So, here's what we got. We got 4 different prestige classes. So the first one is and they're all like subclasses. They're not really actually classes. So we've got the Pestilence Domain Cleric. Obviously, this works off of poison and necromantic magic, not necessarily undead, disease, things like that. We've got the Circle of the Titan Druid. This is probably the least evil out of all of these. Pretty cool. So they, instead of transforming into animals, they transform into like Godzilla. It is, I feel that the forms that they can take are a little bit wanting, though. They don't seem like Godzilla. They sound like it, but they just don't take that feeling on. Then we've got the Hell Knight Fighter. I actually like this a little bit. It's pretty cool, especially when you put the fighter on top of it. They do get some ability to control undead, not a massive ability. And they can cause these very nasty wounds that they can do different things with the wounds. And then lastly, we're getting the Demonic Sorcery Sorcerer. Again, this one was a little underwhelming. There are some pretty cool things that they can do with some of their sorcery points and their innate magic, but it did seem a little underwhelming. Now, we've got our content warning, because whoever wrote this has got to be a little preachy. So the material contains descriptions of body horror, disease, and insects. I don't know who out there is playing D&D that has this deathly fear of insects, but you know what? You probably should be playing D&D, because there's lots of things like this in there, but it is what it is. So we got our little warning here, and then it tells us about playtest material and power level, and there's going to be feedback. So starting on April 9th, we are going to be able to go on to the D&D Beyond website, and we're going to be able to fill out our surveys. So those will be coming out on April 9th. So essentially, each one of these classes, they tell you, they give you a little flavor about the class. Here's the flavor about the pestilence, domain, cleric. They try and paint some of this stuff in a protagonist light if they can. Like it says, followers include apothecaries, doctors, poisoners, royal tasters. Pestilence, domain, clerics, they're disease, rot, famine, poison, evil. That's the way it is. Each class has a level 3 ability. The classes here that are spellcasters get some spellcasting spells that they automatically prepare. We see that here. Let's zoom out just a little bit so you can see this in total. So we've got the level 3 abilities. We've got a level 6 ability. We've got a level 17 ability, which is the capstone ability for this subclass. Circle of the Titan Druid, again, can change. It's into this Titan form. Feels a little underwhelming for me. It's got a table on it for flavor. That's its level 3 ability with the Titan spells and the Titan form, and they've got some templates that you can use for each one of these forms. A level 6, a level 10, a level 14 ability. So here's the capstone ability, which is Monstrous Appetite. You can swallow things whole. And then here are the 2 different templates. I'm sorry, 3 different templates. They take up 2 different pages. It's the Behemoth, Leviathan, and the Insectoid. And this is supposed to be like Mothra. This is supposed to be like Godzilla. And this is supposed to be like the Kraken. And you can form a large, huge, or gargantuan shape depending on your level. The ACs in these, a little bit weak, not great, but it is what it is. Then we have the Hell Knight. I actually like the Hell Knight pretty much. These guys are just flat out evil. They worship devils, or they've made deals with devils, and they serve the devils in the 9 hells. And they can take on different aspects of the 9 hells themselves. So, and then they cause these wounds. So they get a diabolical gift, they get the hellfire weapon, and they get infernal wounds, which are pretty cool. And then they get advanced wounds and hellforged equipment, blister of Avernus, hellfire condemnation, and hellfire surge. So that's pretty cool. Then lastly we have the demonic surge sorcerer. Again, a little table of flavor for them. Maybe what they look like. Then we've got the Abyssal Rupture ability, and this is all tied into their sorcery points. We've got spells, Abyssal Aura, again, tied into sorcery points and an emanation, and then we've got Abyssal Conduit, and then the capstone ability is the Fiendish Servant. Now, the next thing that we've got, and this is a new concept, it's called Paths of Villainy. And it's based off of the feat rules. So we've got the Death Knight, Path of the Death Knight, and we've got the Path of the Lich. Path of the Death Knight, eventually, at 14 or 12, is it 12th level? You become an actual Death Knight. And you get the Hellfire Orb and Unholy Anatomy and all that stuff. And you slowly take on the abilities of a Death Knight. Each one of these is a feat that you have to take, and you have to start. So it's a feat path, and you have to start with Death Knight Initiate. Then you go Dread Authority. It has the Death Knight Initiate prerequisite feat. So you have to take this one to take the other ones. And then there are some levels that come into this too, like with the Death Knight Ascension. Then Path of the Lich, very similar. Talks about the Lich rights. Talks about some famous liches. Acererak is missing off of this list for some reason. And then there's the Lich Initiate feat that you have to take to start on the Path of the Lich feats. And it talks about your spirit jar. We all know that that's a phylactery. It's not a spirit jar. I'm just going to leave it there. They changed that last year. That was one of the dumbest changes that they made. So your spirit jar. And then there are other feats that you can take. Remember, you have to take the Lich Initiate feat first, and eventually you get Path of the Lich Feet, Lich Ascension, which happens at 12th level or higher, and you become a Lich at that point. So, and that's pretty much it. That's all of this, all of the book itself and what's going to appear. I don't know what book this is going to appear in, but I would say out of this, I like the Hell Knight the most out of the classes. And I do like the Path of the Death Knight. That's not too bad either. And I do like this concept. I think this concept can be kind of flushed out. And then it could be used with, say, like different kinds of paladins or different kinds of fighters or things like that. All right. That is the video that I have for everybody today. I hope everybody enjoyed. And I will catch everybody later.